So here is just a brief look at how to groove your derby tires. And I say derby tires because I don't know why else you'd want to do this. Ruin your just kind of stock, all-terrain typical type of compact tires. So all you need, I have the Ridgid power drill. I have the corded one, very simple. And then any one of the heads, I call this oscillator is what I typically call it, but any head that goes with it as well. This is the one that came with its stock. It's a little bit, I used it quite a bit to cut through some wood, so it's a little bit more dull than the more recent one I bought for cutting trim, and it's a little bit sharper, so a little bit bigger, but any head bit will work. And then here is our tire. So it is as simple, just to show here, and then I'll put it up on the time lapse to show you. So here is my, again, grooved stock tire. So the reason I'm doing this is stock compacts, which is this girl beside us, she's a Cobalt. They require you in our area to do stock DOT tires, I should say, not stock, but DOT tires. Now you can buy, it's like a heavy duty winter tread that is DOT. It is a approved for the road tire, and it does great in the mud. However, if you're not running the same car, probably not the best of expenditures, if you will. So I just run the stock tires. Well, we're heading to a muddy pit, so we are going to groove, and you see I have 2 of them done already. Probably about, 20 to 30 minutes to do these 2, and you don't even have to take that long. I'm going to do 5 different grooves around my tire. 4 for sure, maybe 5. But all you do, and I'll put it on the time lapse here, I think, and by the way, you can do this with air in the tire like I am. However, be extremely careful. I would use gloves. I've just got black ones sitting up there on my trunk, as now and then you might kind of miss, and not miss, but it kind of let go and your hand's close, and you don't want to have an oscillator going into your hand or your wrist. But do be careful if air is in the tire. Of course, you do not want to cut past the tread. You just want to cut the tread off, which you can see here. My suggestion is the following. Carefully, I like to kind of just lightly cut a line of my outline, and again, you'll see here in the time lapse me doing it. Then I found it's easier not to cut necessarily first across the tread, but rather into the tread. So I would come into the tire this way and only go about halfway through the tread is how I did it, because if you go too far, of course, you're gonna end the tire, blow the tire, and this thing could be blown back and hitting you, or something catastrophic like that. So I just kind of lightly about halfway go through the tread so I can see better where exactly the tread stops and the tire is, which of course I don't want to cut into, and then I'll just go a little bit more down and through to get it as close to, as you can see there, the tire, without again risking going into the tire. We don't want to blow back. So it's that simple. Again, there's different ways you could do it. That is the best way, and you can see it's got a decent tread, if you will, now, where before it was just the all-weather stock tire, which it's like a slick. So now we have an interruption that could grab traction. I'm going to go about every about 8 inches, 7-8 inches is mine, and again I'm going to have 5 going around. So I'll leave the time lapse run, but that's how I groove the tires. And just a brief look at our results. That took us, I don't know, 7 or 8 minutes, maybe, taking our time. I will say there are these little ribs running through the tire, and I made the mistake of going right over one. I should have started right past one. There every so often, as that little ripple there, I didn't want to cut into, so I had to kind of cut down around it. But again, not making any sort of giant tread, but certainly more of kind of a treaded tire than it was before running through mud. So we're gonna finish up 2 more, so it'll be 5 total, and see how she does in the mud. But that's how you groove your stock tires for your derby car. The final quick look, here is our finished product. Ended up doing more about every, I don't know, 5, maybe 6 inches, putting a groove in. Again, if you cut into, like with the tread, not necessarily a cross tread, but cut into the tread about halfway down, so that way you don't go too deep. Again, that could not only puncture your tire, but also create a situation where that thing might kick back and hit you or someone else, your oscillator. But just about halfway down I go, and then I kind of peel that off and then go a little bit more. And I got quicker as I went. But again, you know, just a stock tire, but she's got a little bit more bite to her now. So there's our finished product.